Ketel Marte hit 2 home runs. Corbin Carroll hit 2 home runs. Hell, I think I hit 2 home runs. Diamondbacks beat the Braves. We're turning on the cactus light, and we are talking about it in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally a man who has missed turning on that cactus light. Coming to you live from the PHNX studios in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, I'm joined by the one, the only, the incomparable Damon Dog on the ones and twos, and we are thrilled to be here talking about an 8-3 victory by the Arizona Diamondbacks over the Atlanta Braves tonight. Big win for this team, big offensive output, and of course, a big night for Ketel and Corbin to both finally have a good game in the same game. Welcome back in, Sean. Yes, the happy music is back. Great to see you guys here. Welcome in, of course. Very excited again to be talking about a win. This show is brought to you by our friends, as always, over at Game Time and Bet365. Make sure to use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up over at Bet365. You'll get yourself some bonus bets. Then use our code of PHNX over at Game Time on your first purchase. You'll get $20 off that purchase. Damon, I was not ready to already be talking about the good vibes that you brought to the show. And this is no attack on one large, intimate Kevin Thomas. However, it's hard to not notice the discernible difference in everything going on with this team since you've returned to producing the show. And I don't want to give you too much credit, but my God, this is a pretty big win.
Yeah, Derek. I mean, I listen. You didn't want to give me too much credit. This is what was expected. This is the standard, as I like to call it, of Diamondbacks baseball. I felt like that standard kind of went out the door when I kind of focused my attention more so on the Arizona Cardinals.
No one cared about the standards. No one cared about the little things. No one was doing the little things right. And that's what we saw today, even though they didn't do the little things right for a brief period of time in the fourth inning. And Gino, I'm talking about you, sir. But we won't focus too much on the negative because this was a big win for the Diamondbacks. Like I said, they win by a score of 8-3. They improved to 29-31 this season. And again, Diamondbacks had just a huge night offensively, 11 hits and 4 home runs tonight. And of course, all of those were provided by guys named Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll on this evening. It was a big night for the Diamondbacks. And like I said, one of the first times that we've actually seen Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte have big games like this in the same game. And it was impressive. 3 guys had multi-hit nights. And again, that's something that we've talked about. We didn't even get contributions from our wrist king in this one. Geraldo Perdomo didn't have a great night, but everybody else did. That's the only reason why I think that I don't know about Damon's involvement in this whole situation. And because if it really was Damon, Geraldo Perdomo would have had 4 home runs in 4 at-bats tonight. And that's the part that makes me question how much of this win credits to Damon. However, still nonetheless, great night here from Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll, something the Diamondbacks have been missing quite a bit. And I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, Damon, too much.
I guess, I mean, are Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte not the big dogs that we have in this lineup? Are they not the horses that we need to get going to go on a win streak here, Derek?
What a powerful 1-2 combo
You're treating me as if, Geraldo Perdomo is the guy who's going to hit 30 bombs a year. Yeah. This is about getting Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll back, swinging the bats, flowing properly, chemistry off the charts. I mean, this is exactly how you draw it up.
It's wild to think that this is the first time all season that Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll have both had a home run in the same game, let alone both of them in this game having 2 home runs each in the same game. This is also the first game all season where both guys, I should say, had a multi-hit game in the same game. And it just goes to show how much the Diamondbacks have been missing Ketel Marte when he's been out this season, and also how this team just doesn't get rolling on all cylinders like they did tonight. In fact, they kind of won in every facet of the game, as long as you remove like cut out part of the bottom of the fourth inning there when the defense suddenly got really bad and Zac Gallen kind of let things fall apart. However, even Gallen gave this team 7 strong innings tonight. The bullpen held things together, even though it can never be 100% comfortable with this bullpen. They did prevent, the Braves from scoring any more runs and letting this game get any closer. Alek Thomas's defense, a big part of that. But the big story in this one, of course, is the Diamondbacks, offense. Their offense put up, again, 11 hits, 8 runs in this game. Gabby Moreno, Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll all had multi-hit games. Gabby Moreno was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. But Ketel Marte, what can you say about the night Ketel Marte had? He was 3 for 3 tonight. He walked twice. He had 3 RBI. He just couldn't be stopped. He hit a solo home run in the first inning after Corbin Carroll popped out. That was his 9th home run of the year. That moved him into 3rd place in RBI all time, the solo spot, he passed Steve Finley in this game with his 480th career RBI when he hit his second home run, 481 career RBIs, and passes Steve Finley for 3rd place on the franchise's all-time list. So congrats to Ketel. It just goes to show what a big part of this team Ketel Marte has been. And, there's a couple of guys that are setting those records now for this team. Merrill Kelly is getting close to surpassing Curt Schilling on the all-time wins list and becoming 3rd behind Randy Johnson and Brandon Webb. And now here you have Ketel Marte moving up to 3rd on the franchise's all-time RBI list, and plenty of more time for him to catch some other guys, though I don't know if he's going to do that. There's quite a gap there. But again, Ketel Marte, 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, scores Corbin Carroll. And this was Marte recorded his 3rd 2-home run game of the season and his 11th of his career. So Marte really seems like he's back. Big night for him. Ketel Marte, he gets our king snake for this game. Again, 3 for 3 tonight for Ketel. 2 home runs, 3 RBI, 2 walks. Just stayed on the base path, caused problems for the Braves, and just really couldn't be stopped tonight. But not so fast, because we're not just giving out 1 king snake tonight. We're giving out 2. Corbin Carroll, our other king snake tonight, 3 for 4 for Corbin Carroll. He added home run number 17 to lead off the 5th inning. Then he went ahead and added home run number 8th inning in the top of the 9th, scoring Gabby and Alek. He gets 4 RBI total tonight. He hit that one went 416 feet, 107.4 miles per hour off the bat. And again, this is just a great night for this offense. Spencer Strider, again, was not able to fool the Diamondbacks much with his fastball tonight, and they did a great job of jumping all over him, all over this team. And it's really, really a great thing to see. This felt like a cathartic win, especially because of how close the Braves were able to make it. Zac Gallen kind of struggled there in 1 inning of his outing, and that was enough to give us all pause about if the Diamondbacks could close this one out and get the job done. But yeah, they did it. Candace earlier in the chat, Damon, said something about this being Dalton because of Dalton eating a salad. Now, I got a text message tonight from our friend Dalton Feely. Candace says, I think it is because Dalton ate a salad today. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things to turn things around for the Diamondbacks, right? Yes, the guys on the field. It shows how
locked in this fan base and this family is.
Dalton never eat that. You've never eaten a salad before in your whole life, Dalton? That's what you told me in text message. I don't know what to say about that. But Damon, he comes back to the show. He makes the sacrifice of having to work with me, of all people, which we know how unpleasant that could be. He makes that sacrifice in order to help the Diamondbacks win and turn things around. You got Dalton out here eating a salad. Now, Dalton texted me that he is maybe the cause of the Diamondbacks struggles as of late, because we had this whole discussion with Kevin about cereal. Damon was on the wrong side of that history. Maybe I was on the wrong side of history and agreeing with Dalton, because Dalton posted a picture that he ate Dino Nuggets, cereal, and a blue Mountain Dew, right? That was like his meal for the game. And since then, the team has gone 2-9. His record might be worse than Jesse when he appears on the show, Damon. So I told him that's hard to do. He's not allowed to have Dino Nuggets anymore. That's just a fact. That's a period fact. He can't have Dino Nuggets anymore. He's very sad about that. He's a big Dino Nuggets guy. So he's doing what it takes, and this team is doing what it takes. They were still making plenty of mistakes tonight. We're going to talk about the defense. Still made some mistakes on the base path, and it's just something, you do have Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll having all these wonderful achievements. It's probably the first time both guys have gotten thrown out on the base path as well. So you also still have the Diamondbacks making some mistakes, still not being as sharp as they've been in the past when it comes to causing that chaos and advancing runners, stealing bases, making the team, make those mistakes. And it felt like, there was a potential to see this one slip away. Corbin Carroll, though, he really came up big there late with that home run. It really kind of gave the Diamondbacks the kind of breathing room that, quite frankly, I don't know if we've had in any game this year. I know that's very dramatic to say, but I just feel like in watching games this year, the Diamondbacks have had some pretty impressive leads. They've put up runs. They at least now improved to 14-11 when scoring 6 runs or more in a game. So, hey, there's that. But it's the fact that they're nearly 500 and when scoring 6 runs or more that should give you a little bit of indigestion with this team. But tonight they put it all together. It was a good, solid team win. And of course, like I said, big part of it obviously was the offense and Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte leading the way doing it.
Can I say real quick?
Kind of on their own.
I wanted to talk about the double king snake for a second because to me, honestly, that feels it's a little participation trophy.
It's a cop-out.
But it's okay. I think in this circumstance, with the way that this team has been playing, this is the kind of spark they needed. This is we just wanted to show people this is what the standard looks like, and it's these 2 players in particular.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It does feel a little bit like a participation ribbon.
Because then who's truly the king? Can you have 2 kings?
On one hand, Corbin Carroll did make an out, and Ketel Marte didn't. Meanwhile, Carroll has 1 more RBI than Ketel. Ketel 2 walks. He has 3 RBI. Corbin has 4. I don't know. It's a push to me. Both guys. I think the reason why I definitely wanted the 2-headed king snake tonight is because of the fact that these guys have not been able to do it together in a game. And I think that's the thing that's been missing from this team this season. You look at guys like Josh Naylor, you look at Gino's, 16 home runs. Ketel Marte, he now has 10 home runs. You got multiple guys with with 10 plus home runs. But Corbin Carroll there hanging with Kyle Schwarber and Shohei Ohtani for 3rd in the National League in home runs is not something I think any of us really saw happening, despite the fact that he's had this success with home runs and the success with power. It's still not necessarily all happening in a game like this where the contributions, come together. They're doing it with guys on base like Carroll was able to do late and having multiple home runs hit by multiple guys in a game. Offense really hasn't been the Diamondbacks' problem this year. It just seems to be like it seems to kind of disappear at times when they needed it the most. They were very good early on this season at scoring late with runners in scoring position or scoring runs late, at least in the game in 7th inning and later. However, that kind of disappeared over the course of May. The month of May was so bad for this team that I felt like they lost their identity in several ways. So hopefully it was just an anomaly. It's one bad month and the Diamondbacks can use June to kind of turn the page and go forward. But I think somebody else brought it up in the chat, and the Diamondbacks are now 2-0 since Damon has returned to this podcast. And you can't argue with numbers, Damon. You can't.
Numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. And that's what we say around here sometimes. But we're going to talk about Zac Gallen's numbers, the bullpen, and this defense trying their best to give it away in the 4th inning on the other side of this break. So don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Let me tell you how excited I am that we are now brought to you proudly by our friends at the Wendy's Frosty Shop, or as it's written in my notes, Shoppy. I'm going to say Wendy's Frosty Shoppy. But what that means is that when you go to Wendy's now, you don't just get the delicious choice of having a chocolate Frosty. Like back in my day, get a chocolate Frosty, get some medium French fries, dip those French fries in the Frosty, and have yourself a wonderful night. Now they have an entire shop of Frosties, and you can get not only the same creamy treat you've always enjoyed, but you can get it with all sorts of added toppings. They have the all-new Frosty Swirl and Frosty Fusion. Frosty Fusion I'm most excited about because in the Frosty Fusion, you can get Oreo brownies, you can get a caramel crunch, or you can get the one that I can't wait to try the most, the Pop-Tart Strawberry. Yes, there are delicious little chunks of Pop-Tart in your strawberry Frosty. Not to mention that you can still get vanilla if you're one of those kind of people. I'm not going to knock you if you are, but go crazy. Enjoy all of the delicious flavors, whatever flavor you're craving. Odds are Frosty has a go-to for it. So clock in for a sweet treat anytime, including midnight or later with Wendy's all-new Frosty flavors. A free fresh on a classic, gotta be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but APS wants to help you lower your bill. And I know sometimes that might be counterproductive to what you think an energy company, a power company might want to do, but they want to help you, especially considering that more than half of your energy bill comes from cooling and heating. With summer here, we know what time it is. It's time for that air conditioning to run all the time, and it's time to get smart about savings. Smart thermostats can work with your APS rate plan and help to maximize comfort and convenience while minimizing your energy costs. And let me tell you, it's super convenient for you to be able to make sure that you aren't leaving your home maybe super cold when you're not there. Or, hey, if you are good about it, you might want to just turn it up and get it cooled down before you get home. And you can do that all through the convenience of your phone. With a smart thermostat, and APS customers right now may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you're not sure how to install a smart thermostat, free install is available at APS Marketplace. And if you already have one, you can see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards. Find instant rebates, discounts, and special offers on thermostats, energy efficient appliances, and more at marketplaceaps.com. Must be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information. And tonight was a night where Zac Gallen brought a lot of energy, and Zac Gallen was pretty smart out there on the mound. In fact, this was probably, or at least it started out as the most efficient Zac Gallen outing of the season and possibly his career. He was outstanding tonight at getting soft contact, wasn't really getting behind in the count early on, didn't really seem to shy away from his fastball in the zone like we've seen. Like some of the problems we've seen out of Zac Gallen really feels like a lack of confidence in his fastball and trying to get hitters to swing out it outside of the zone. Tonight, he was kind of pitching to contact. He looked really good. In fact, he had 23 pitches thrown through the first 3 innings, which was tied for the fewest pitches thrown through 3 innings this season. So that's how efficient Zac Gallen was. Then the 4th inning came around and things fell apart, as they tend to do for Gallen this season. And also, you could say, as they tend to do, it's based on some bad defense, or maybe not even bad defense. I think that we were discussing it here in the office, and one of the points I was making was that we've seen time and time again the textbook Zac Gallen bad outing this year, which usually is impacted by not pitching in the zone and walking batters, having a high walk rate, and also having his usually reliable defense behind him not be the reliable defense. And when I say that, I don't just mean the mistake that Gino made in the 4th inning. I also mean Perdomo, missing that what would have been an outstanding play in that inning, but again, just missed it just a little bit late
by like a millisecond.
By a
right?
millisecond.
I think that's the issue is like, you're so close to getting that 3rd out on a spectacular play.
Yeah.
But it's just a fraction of a second that you don't get it. And then look at the way that it downfalls, the way that it spins out. It's you have to mitigate that a little bit better. And Zac Gallen, to your point, Derek, is like, I feel like this season he definitely has been a little bit, he's let that kind of stuff get to him.
Yeah. And I mean, he was cruising through that. He gives up a solo home run, right, to Braves rookie Drake Baldwin, who was incredible in this game. He was incredible behind the dish for the Braves. He was a problem at the plate. That kid is going to be a problem in the National League. But he gives up that solo home run. Diamondbacks are still up at that point, 4-1, thanks to those home runs by Ketel Marte at that point. But once with 2 outs, they get into the bottom. They're there with 1 out left in the inning. Things completely fall apart, and a lot of it was due to those 2 missed plays by the defense. It led to the game's 2nd run scoring. You got Perdomo again. It would have had to have been an amazing play for him to make that throw over, but he misses Matt Olson who reaches. And then one of the grossest fielding errors on Gino, which the broadcast brought up that Gino had gotten hit in the hand a few plays before that, and that might have impacted how far he went down. But he basically completely missed the ball on the ground at third base. It ended up being an error on Gino. And then that led to Olson scoring because the ball gets past Gino, rolls slowly out to left field, and the Braves are able to take advantage of that. And then, of course, Albies hits an RBI single right after that, scoring Ozuna. And it just, you just saw a game that looked like Zac Gallen was just cruising through, absolutely fall apart. And part of it too is Zac Gallen seems to fall apart a little bit. That's the point in the game when he started to get behind batters. That's the point in the game when all of a sudden you started seeing Zac not be able to hit the zone and kind of not trying to throw his fastball, in the zone. Now, it was understandable because he was doing so well before that at no point did he really have himself in any kind of trouble. But because that home run, by the way, by Baldwin was the first hit he allowed of the entire game. But then once that happened, it was like the floodgate opened up. I blame it definitely more on the defense. And I do blame it a bit on Zac because you could feel the shift. You could feel Zac get tight. You could see him, pitching differently than he was in those first 3 innings. And again, those first 3 innings are much more of what we come to expect out of Gallen. That's what we have seen in the past. It's what we know him to be. For some reason, he seems to always be very good when he's not pitching at Chase Field, but he did get things back on track, and that was good to see. Gallen goes out there, despite that 4th inning kind of getting away from him. He gets things back together, has a really efficient 5th inning. He goes out and gives the Diamondbacks 7 innings strong, something they definitely are going to continue to need from their starters with the state of the bullpen. We got the Circle K strikeout meter. Zac Gallen struck out 4 tonight. Let's fire that bad boy up. And of course, not a big strikeout night for Gallen, but it was because he was pitching and getting that soft contact early on. And even once he settled back in, he was able to do that. He only threw 89 pitches. So it feels like maybe if needed, you might have even been able to send Gallen out there for the 8th inning. Gallen gives them 7 innings pitched, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs. Only one of those runs is earned. He walked 1 and struck out the 4. And the reason why I say that about him going back out in the 8th inning is, despite the fact it was back at the top of the lineup for the Braves, nothing is easy with this bullpen, and it wasn't easy tonight. Again, you could send out arguably the best arm that you have in the pen right now, which is Shelby Miller. Maybe it's just Martinez. I don't really know. But Miller couldn't make things easy, gave up a pair of hits, and things we started to get really queasy. Started to feel like, again, we were going to see this bullpen, no matter who it was, go out there and let this game slip away. And luckily,
also Shelby Miller against the Braves, like that is written in the stars.
Yeah, that felt gross.
Yoshi says it here in the chat. Shelby versus his former team, the team that we got him from, obviously. Like that felt like it was meant to be just an epic collapse, right?
Yeah. And it was written in the stars. It was written in the stars. Nicholas Gruder says East Coast Gallen is built different, or yeah, that's definitely the truth. But who also says, is it too much for asking the Dbacks bullpen one non-dramatic win? Yeah, exactly. And I mean, again, Corbin Carroll helped to make it not that, right? Like I as bad as things were there in the 8th inning, I was terrified about going to the bottom of the 9th, despite the fact that wasn't going to be the best part of the Braves lineup. It just felt like, once again, here we go, strap in. And luckily, Alec Thomas made a game-saving catch there in the 8th inning with 2 runners on and 2 outs to basically prevent any runs from scoring and keep the Diamondbacks lead at the time 5-3. So that was incredible. And we sent out our tweet, but 71% of the earth is covered by water and the other 29% covered by Alec Thomas. Ryan Thompson then can come out in the bottom of the 9th and just shove, because that's what Ryan Thompson does when there's no pressure on in the situation. He shoves. I love my man, and I'm not going to talk trash about tea time, but he has been getting better, despite the fact that there for a period of time, it really did look like he was a liability when being put out there. He's just had some really big performances, man. And I mean, I just don't know what to think about Ryan Thompson at times. On a personal level, I adore him, but on a spectating level, I will say that he has some dog in him, and he has something at times that I don't feel like other guys in the bullpen have. Like, I need to see, guys that want to go out there and compete. I want to see guys that want to go out there and beat the opposing team. I'm not saying that I'm not seeing, that from guys at times in the bullpen. Hell, Justin Martinez looks like that every single day of his life, all the time. But I feel that Ryan Thompson at times steps up for those big moments. He's had his fair share of mistakes and bad outings, as pretty much has every pitcher in the bullpen has had for this team. But again, nice outing, even though he had a 5-run lead for Thompson. Goes out there, pitches 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, no nothing. But yeah, we are definitely back, and it feels good. Now, this is but 1 win. The Diamondbacks still sit, like I said earlier, currently at a record of 29-31, 2 games below 500. It just, this period of time is crucial for this team. I have tried to say how early it was over the last couple, month, right? I've tried to keep expectations, somewhat realistic and try to say, even though the Diamondbacks weren't playing good baseball, the season doesn't end in May, right? And I mean, unless you're the Colorado Rockies right now, your season is still alive. No matter who you are. Well, maybe the White Sox, but
Rockies on a win streak, baby.
Yeah,
2 in a row.
I don't know if we
You've
call
never
that a
seen
streak.
anything like this.
Yeah,
we're going streaking, Derek.
It's they
DNVR Rockies.
They almost took 2 out of 3 from us, so let's
pop
watch
the
it there.
champagne.
But,
they might sweep tomorrow. They might sweep the Marlins tomorrow.
Go for the sweep tomorrow, but it's the Marlins, so I'm not going to care.
Does it not count?
No, it counts, but I just don't care. But yeah, no, I mean, Sean says June is definitely where all the early talk ends, and you're absolutely right. That is it, right? We are getting to the point that if the Diamondbacks continue down this path as they've played over the last 2 weeks, or even in the entire month of May, that, yeah, I mean, we start approaching the trade deadline. We start looking at maybe the loss of Corbin Burnes and what this starting rotation looks like from there. We have guys with expiring contracts. There's a lot of guys the Diamondbacks aren't going to move on from. They're not going to move on from a Zac Gallen. They're not going to move on from a Josh Naylor. At the end of the season, offering those guys qualifying offers and getting those compensatory picks are too important for this team, right? So there's going to be, maybe some other names moved, maybe a Merrill Kelly, maybe other guys if the Diamondbacks don't play good baseball, and that talk becomes real if in the month of June, considering that the trade deadline is July 31st, right? So this is important, and all the early talk does end at this point. It's not to say that they can't bounce back from this point forward. It's not to say that they can't play good baseball, and they have plenty of time at this point to still make up ground and kind of, transform this team into the team that we hoped they could be, what we thought they could be this year. This team, quite frankly, is one of the biggest disappointments in Major League Baseball this year, without a doubt. And, again, there you might be able to tie some excuses to it, right? If you lose somebody like Corbin Burnes for a significant period of time. However, it just feels like even with the loss of one single pitcher, even if it is Corbin Burnes, that the rest of this team is still good to win a crap ton of games. It's crap ton. Is that like an official? Can I use crap ton? Is that all right, Damon?
I think that's
all right.
FCC allowed.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, again, I will stop saying from this point on that it's too early, especially if the Diamondbacks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were going to stop saying crap ton.
Oh, I will never stop saying crap ton. I love that. I love saying crap ton. I actually say a different word that I'm not allowed to say on this show, but very much I will say that the time for early talk is over, and the Diamondbacks they have to win baseball games. They have to win baseball games, especially against teams that they should win games against. They have to beat weaker opponents, and they have to start proving that they are competitive with the rest of the National League West. That's where they have to start, right? But again, this is a great win. It's a great start. And so far, the month of June is going their way. You can thank Damon Dog for that. You can thank Dalton Feely for his salad. You can thank me for just being here nonstop all the time. I'm the constant. You're the rock. I'm the rock. I'm the one that's always here. But we got some super chats, and one I have to ask you about, Damon, because let's talk about Damon Cat.
Do we have to?
Do we want to? Do you want to? I don't know this lore.
Do we have? Do we have to address this?
Not really. I mean, but there's a super chat that says, "Hey, Damon, I never got that meow." But Damon, Noah gave me a good meow on the first day? What's that about?
Well, first off, it hurts to know that Noah does not have my back. It hurts to know that Noah is right away
weak-willed. First day, he gave a meow out? That's crazy.
Everything I stand against in life,
That's
some
crazy.
people might say. Damon Cat has been sending super chats trying to get me to say the forbidden phrase
the M word
for a while now,
yeah.
and you know what? I just won't do it. So Derek, you can read it off, but I'm not going to read it.
You're not getting away from me, he says. He adds, he says, I will get my meow. This is turning into like supervillain status, and I'm here for it. This is new lore, but lore I'm willing to accept for this podcast. We have a lot of lore around here. We got Lourdes Gurriel III that we added, Damon, in your absence. We got the Cactus Light. We got a lot of things that we need to catch you up on, but obviously what we don't need to catch you up on is you bringing the winning vibes and the winning ways to this organization. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what I do. It's what I do, and everybody here, get used to it, because this is the standard, as I already said, and we will continue to uphold this standard as long as we're here, contributing to this organization.
Well,
enough said.
I'll tell you, I think back to last year with the series with the Braves and how badly things went for the Diamondbacks. I think about their record at this same time last year, and I will say that I'm just ready to be a little reactive to series wins and losses, but kind of look at it as a clean slate going forward from June 1st, even though the Diamondbacks are still 2 games below 500. They have a chance here, especially with some winnable series in the month of June, to turn things around. Hopefully this game with Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll both just crushing the baseball. Hopefully the confidence is there. Mostly, the pitching needs to get back on track. We know the offense hasn't been a problem this season. They've gone through their little ruts, but for the most part, it always feels like 2 guys on this team are contributing and contributing consistently, right? So it's just different guys, and it doesn't always seem to be more than 2 guys, which can be a problem at times. This time, though, the Diamondbacks got enough out of those 2 guys. Marte and Carroll crushed the ball tonight. We are going to talk about the numbers from this game on the other side of this break, so don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, I will say that we usually have to take our pure edibles to kind of get over some losses, but this is a celebratory night, so take those pure edibles for this win. Of course, maybe you're an excited person like me. You can take pure edibles sleep edition gummies, and of course, maybe actually get some sleep instead of just being pumped by this win all night long and not getting a good night's rest. So check out all the wonderful edibles Pure Edibles has to offer. They have a wide range of candies, not just gummies. They have hard candies, chews. They have their kicks, which are like Starbursts, and so much more. Of course, if you are looking for those sleep edition gummies, you will have no problem finding them, because not only are they located in over 130 dispensaries across Arizona, but they also have those effects clearly marked on each tin, so you will know exactly what you're getting. You can also get some uplifting chews that will help make your mood better. Sometimes we need those after the losses, and so much more. So make sure to check out the wide variety of flavors and strains and doses that Pure Edibles has. Of course, those can be ripped in half. They have like little score marks for you to dial in your exact dose, so you always know exactly what you're getting, and they are easy to share. So again, check out the full line of what Pure Edibles has to offer, and you can get them their products yourself from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Speaking of this great state across Arizona, make sure to check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You can visit any one of their 4 Valley locations to experience the best that the Valley has to offer. Of course, you can catch every thrilling moment for these sporting events that we all love at their Bet MGM Sportsbook at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They have massive screens, delicious food and drinks, and of course, get that paper receipt in your hand. It's always great to have that. Catch all the action with the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, UFC fights, and more. Of course, it's the ultimate place to watch and win. Place your bets and experience the excitement. Then, hang out, have a staycation, go downstairs, play on one of their over 4,500 slots or table games, and just experience the best that the Valley has to offer. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
I guess, Derek, now, Jesse's now in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's me and you.
Yeah.
Boys trips to Gila River.
I'll get the room, you get the steak dinner.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good time. It sounds like a better time if Jesse and me were going, but I guess I can make it work.
I don't like this. Kevin didn't uninclude me on one boys trip the whole time he was here. Not one time did he not include
Kevin
me.
also put you in a neck brace, brother.
Yeah, no, that's true. You never physically assaulted me, and that's definitely a hash mark in your column.
We can pros and cons this one up all day long.
Probably. I'll take the 2-0 record, honestly, right now, considering he was here during last year's collapse and during the month of May. So you win. Let's take a look at the numbers proving that you won. These numbers, of course, presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Diamondbacks win this one by a score of 8-3. Those 4 home runs, a lot better than the Braves' 1 home run. Diamondbacks were 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position to the Braves 1 for 3, which is basically the same percentage, but better. Diamondbacks had 5 extra base hits to the Braves' 1 home run, and then their expected batting average was .313 tonight to the Braves' .222. A lot of soft contact. This Braves team, they don't have a great record this year. They haven't been a great team, especially the bottom half of their lineup. But man, it was just nice to see the Diamondbacks go out there and kick this particular series off with a big win. I mean, they just dropped some games to the Nationals and the Pirates that they probably shouldn't drop and could end up being very detrimental in the future to this team. We shouldn't even scoreboard watch. We shouldn't even look at the standings, but we still do. We're going to look at the standings all year long. Let's take a look at what's happening in the NL West. What do you got for me here, Damon? We got who won, who lost? Got any updates?
Giants Padres are playing right now, I believe. It is very early. Last we checked, it was 0-0.
They're playing each other, right?
Yes, they are. And that's assist via intern Seth back here who's helping out. But
let's go.
The Rockies on a 2-game win streak, as I already said. The Giants are now up 2-0, top 4 on the Padres. And the Dodgers are up 4-1 on the Mets at the end of 1. So looking like Dodgers, Giants right now in the lead. Dbacks get the W. Rockies wagon.
Well, at least they have more than 10 wins now. They got a silver lining something there. I don't know how. Shout out to Christian over at DNVR Rockies, who has to cover that team. Also, Spencer got drug into that, and I feel that Spencer's having a good time with all the losses. He's rolling with the punch as well, but I feel like he's dying inside. I feel like Spencer, leave that man alone. Let him go back to the golf course and stop harassing him with this terrible baseball team. The other day I was on your guys' show from Ali and Spears, right? I got the guys from Tucson asking me what the hell is wrong with the Rockies, right? As if I know, as if I could fix that team, right? But the one thing that I took away from Christian and his preview of the Diamondbacks Rockies series is that at the end of the day, you still have an owner that feels like he knows better than everybody else. You have an owner that is directly involved with all the major decisions. And when you look at some of the players they've missed on, some of the signings, some of the ways they've spent money, it's not from a modern day analytical perspective, right? It's just a fact that they are going out there and trying to, they're making bad decisions. And a lot of that is because it's coming down to one person's decision. Now, I almost feel like the Diamondbacks are like, in a way, the opposite of the Rockies when it comes to the decisions they're making and such, right? They're trying to go out there and like we've seen the last 2 off seasons, add one of the biggest, potential free agents available. Yet those things aren't working out for them, and it's really sad and it's heartbreaking. We don't really have an update yet on Corbin Burnes, but we are going to talk about it. And of course, I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it on the other side of this break. So you guys stick around. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Of course, all ProShade concepts helps me throw shade. They also help me extend my shade. They help me extend my outdoor living space. They can help you do the same. Of course, get yourself a new motorized awning. Get yourself some roll-down patio shades that can help block out the sun. And of course, prevent you from absorbing up to 95% of those harmful UV rays that come through. And if you have a window that faces the sun, you know what I'm talking about. It could ruin your life at times. So make sure to contact a company to help you solve this problem and keep your home up to 20 degrees cooler with our friends at All ProShade Concepts. If you need a testimonial, Espo won't shut up about it because of how much he loves his indoor roll down shades, and that's because they're really neat and they do block out a ton of sun. Help improve your outdoor living space, your indoor living space. It doesn't matter. Call them. They'll help you with old, outdated awnings. They can help you fix motorized awnings and anything else that you might not have that currently doesn't work. They can also work with your HOA and make sure that everything they add to your home is HOA compliant. They've been in business for 20 years right here in the Valley, and you can give them a call right now for a free estimate. Call them at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com now to schedule that free estimate. And of course, we love all of our amazing hats that we have around this place, but I don't think we love any as much as we love our Branded Bills hats. They are comfortable, they are amazing, the designs are great, and of course, they can not only hook you up with some amazing designs, they have partnerships with U of A, ASU as part of their campus collection. They have Suns hats, they have wonderful hats for the state of Arizona and more, but they can also make some gear for your brand if you want to help, having your brand stand apart from the crowd. Branded Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. Head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 10% off your first order. That's code BBPHNX for 10% off your first order. All right. Well, before we talk about what's going on with Corbin Burns, I did want to remind all of you that Shane's birthday party officially kicks off the summer celebration, I guess, or the 4th of July weekend. I don't know how this works, Damon. He has abducted our pool party takeover at Chase Field and made it the Shane Diefenbach pool party takeover in honor of his birthday. This is on July 3rd. So of course,
what?
Yeah, this is what Shane's done. He has basically taken over our takeover. He took over our takeover. I don't know how that works.
How is that allowed?
I don't know.
This isn't about him. This is about our diehards.
I mean, this is about swimming in the pool.
This is about family. This is about
seeing me with my shirt off.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball finding, a way to cultivate a win streak.
This is about how many margaritas Derek can drink out of a bat. That's what this is about. It's not about Shane. It's not about his birthday, but he's somehow making it about his birthday. Don't bring him a present. Don't bring him a card, but come join us on July 3rd from 5:30 to 10 p.m. We're going to be having a great time out there. It is time for our PHNX pool party at Chase Field. We've got that right field pool reserved for you guys, for us to have a great time. We're inviting you to come hang out with the PHNX crew and other diehards. The tickets are very limited. It does include the game ticket to the Dbacks versus Nationals. This says Dbacks versus Nationals in the pool. I'm pretty sure we're playing the Giants. And I think I've been saying Nationals all season long whenever talking about this.
Well, we're a professional podcast.
We are a professional podcast, but I'm 90% sure because I was doing the schedule for that time of year. I'm going to just look it up. July 3rd, Giants at Diamondbacks.
That's a guy who just knows his team's schedule.
Yeah. Zach, you and me are going to have a long talk tomorrow, Zach, is what we're going to have to do. But again, that doesn't change the date, though. July 3rd, we are having that pool party. Make sure to join us. Nationals is who we faced last time.
Correct.
That's how dated this information is.
That is true. That is who we faced last time, as Paul Skeens almost or not Paul Skeens, sorry, Paul Sewald.
Paul Sewald almost ruined it for us.
Skeens. Paul Sewald almost ruined it for us, and then Damon Smith saved our lives.
You and me held hands, I think, during the end of that game when Paul Sewald was out there pitching.
Sounds like us. Yeah, but we got two Ryans already talking about showing up.
Oh, we got Ryan 1 and Ryan 2?
We're having a Ryan off at the Dbacks Chase Field pool.
No, one of you is now Ryan, like Ryan Nelson. Like, you're not Ryan anymore. You are now Ryan, and the other one's Ryan. You guys figure out which one's which. But, yes, for sure. Join us for that. Complimentary food, drinks. Get yourself a Diamondbacks towel to take home. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully by then we will have good news about Corbin Burns and not bad news, because the news today about Corbin Burns is that he has been placed on the 15-day IL due to right elbow inflammation, and he is currently awaiting a second opinion. Now, I think, Damon, that when you initially hear second opinion, you get very nervous. I think the initial reaction is that obviously the first opinion was not good, so that they will now need to seek out a second opinion that maybe is more in line with what they want to hear. I don't believe that's necessarily the case. I felt like this was the same conversation we were having in regards to AJ Puk and his injury. AJ Puk did miss significant time. He will miss significant time. He was placed on the 60-day IL. However, he was placed on a 60-day IL instead of being placed or instead of having season-ending surgery, which is what everyone feared, what we all feared was going to be the diagnosis when he went and had a second and third opinion done. So, of course, Scott Boras is Corbin Burns' agent. You know he's going to be thorough. You know he's going to have multiple assessments done, make sure that they get all the information and make a decision. But some things were encouraging in regards to what Corbin Burns had to say after the game. He also said that he's never experienced anything like this before. I feel like the reaction, Damon, especially a lot of like my reaction, a lot of fans' reactions to the injury was being able to see lip read what Burns said when he was out there on the mound, and he said, my elbow is dead. It's done. I think my elbow is gone is what 1982. Yeah. My elbow is gone. It was terrifying to see him say that. Now I am definitely being optimistic here. I am definitely trying to hope for the best. So I'm not, I hope I don't sound delusional in saying this. I just am saying like there's some small things that are encouraging, despite the fact that this situation still seems awful. And it still seems like regardless of what the outcome is, the Diamondbacks are going to be without Corbin Burns for a significant period of time. I feel like at this point, the best case scenario is that he misses 60 days and then he goes on the 60-day IL. I don't know if anything short of that is going to be necessarily, anything that you can expect.
Dang. I guess I would say, to Corbin Burns in regards to, I'm in Arizona now. Like, have you ever experienced anything like this? I'd say, welcome to Arizona, brother. This is what it means to be a pitcher in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. You're a free agent signing. Something was bound to happen.
Yeah, no, there was going to be bad things in your future.
Sucks.
I don't know. Someone asked yesterday, they were like, is this Randy Johnson curse thing real? No, I made it up, but it feels real, doesn't it? Like if you trace the lineage on this team back to, its infancy, this organization as a little tiny baby.
Yeah.
There was this weird, change of philosophy, right? The initial ownership group that weren't named Jerry Colangelo thought that this team was going to just be like, hey, a fun thing to have. Families will come out. They'll have picnics at the ballpark. It'll be great. It'll be a fun thing to have. It'll be like a draw in downtown Arizona. And only Jerry Colangelo knew. I'm sure like this is not how it went, but this is how I picture it going. You fools! These people aren't going to just come watch a baseball team. They need to watch a winner. Have you not been paying attention to the Phoenix Suns next door? Like, that's what I imagine that meeting going like. I'm sure he was nicer about it than I would ever be. But somehow he got this organization to pivot and change. And even when I talked to Travis Lee one time, Travis Lee, I don't want to say he sounded bitter, but he wasn't happy about the fact that he felt like he was sold on the fact that they were going to take their time to build this organization and that he was going to be a big part of it, to the sudden change where he's being traded for Curt Schilling and most of the original guys that were part of this team were no longer part of this team. So there's that whole thing. And I feel like maybe winning a World Series title in your third season of existence, that it's hard to believe a devil didn't pop up somewhere with a contract and somebody signed away the franchise's soul. But
I'm fully convinced of what we were talking about on Mailbag Monday.
Yeah. Well, you have the evidence. You basically found the fact that this. You
can't convince me otherwise that doesn't play somewhat of a factor. And one of my other teams, the Miami Dolphins, it's a very, they apparently the Tequesta tribe used to have a ancient burial ground where they built the new stadium, and since then they haven't won a playoff game. Only team in the NFL.
I can tell you've researched that. I can tell you've actually put time into researching that.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that all of this stuff is real. I think mistakes were made when making these organizations.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it. And also no wonder that Damon Cat wants you to meow. Like, it makes sense now, and I'm understanding a little bit more why all this stuff is going on. He says, Damon, like it or not, you will meow one day. And Damon says, no, never.
Not even
never.
if there's a fire.
Not even off camera. BCSC's here, and he said, and I'm sorry, Noah is a goat. Is it a goat?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Ketel, send me a DM, baby. I've told you, BCSC, Ketel's taken. You can have Noah. We've given you Noah, and that's all we can give you right now.
Well, Noah and BCSC are in love, I believe.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's real. It's a real connection. What I was happy about, Damon, is that BCSC has gotten back on track of his love life and messaging us about that, rather than when he was in despair about the Diamondbacks losing ways, because when BCSC was talking ball,
that's, things are
that's how we knew things were really bad.
I had another moment of that earlier, and I hope he's still in here to comment on this, but it's bad when Jacob Franklin is telling you guys, it's over, guys. This team is done.
Yeah.
And that, when I'm getting texts from Jacob Franklin on the weekends about this team being done, that's where I sit back and I go, okay, what's going on right now?
Group texts he sent.
And then individuals.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy to send a group text and then individually text members of that group about the same topic. Like, where the text group, the thread is a group of baseball guys. I hate to break that to you, Faj, but you don't need to then individually text me and Damon about how bad this team is, because it's just counterproductive. I feel like you're wasting your time.
From Big Jake saying, Damon, are we ever going to be good?
Yeah.
Is this organization cursed?
Is this team ever going to be back?
And you're just sitting there and you're like, man, when Mr. Positivity, the dad of this fan base, who's always trying to tell us, it's okay, guys. Look at this guy we got coming up next year.
Yeah.
When he's down and out, that's when things are really, really in a dark place.
That and BCSC talking ball. That's when you're in a dark place.
The two indicators of the Dbacks in a dark place. Correct.
We should have some more news about Corbin Burns later this week, an update on that second opinion. Hopefully that second opinion goes a bit more like the way that the AJ Puck situation went, versus that possibility of Burns needing season-ending Tommy John surgery. But speaking of Tommy, the Diamondbacks recalled Tommy Henry in placement of Corbin Burns. Tommy Henry was recalled from AAA Reno. He was decent in his last outing, but he's not been very good this year. He is 2-5 in 10 starts with a 7.39 ERA for the Aces. That translates roughly to a 4.5 ERA in Major League Baseball because of the PCL. But he was mostly called up because Tommy Henry is a left-handed pitcher. The Diamondbacks DFA'd Joe Mantiply, and right now Jalen Beeks is currently the only lefty in their bullpen. So hopefully Tommy Henry can be that arm that they're looking for in the pen, especially as an additional left-handed arm. Meanwhile, the big question that people were asking on Twitter is, why not Bryce Jarvis? Bryce Jarvis, another guy who not only has had Major League experience, but has already pitched out of the pen for this team. Bryce Jarvis was just named the PCL Pitcher of the Week on Monday. He's had himself a great run lately. He tossed 6 no-hit innings against the Round Rock Rangers with 1 walk and 9 strikeouts on May 30th. He was the Diamondbacks' number 18 overall pick back in 2020. And so the question is why not Bryce Jarvis over Tommy Henry? Well, because Bryce is not a lefty. I think it really comes down to that. Bryce has had much better results, and I'm sure we'll see Bryce Jarvis at some point get called up to the pen, especially if the Diamondbacks should need another guy, to kind of give them some innings and maybe send someone down just to have a fresh arm in the pen. But for right now, it comes down to Tommy Henry being a lefty. So the rotation going forward, considering that Erod will return to the starting rotation, is going to be Zac Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt, followed by Erod, then followed by Ryan Nelson. And I guess if there was a positive here, is that Ryan Nelson continues to stay in the starting rotation, which he absolutely deserves. Now, Nelson in the bullpen isn't the worst thing. I said that yesterday, I believe, that, again, moving Nelly to the pen and having that available long relief option could be something the Diamondbacks are very much missing in their pen. However, right now with the way he's pitching, the Diamondbacks need him as a starter, and at least for the time being, he has a chance to remain as that. If there was a best case scenario for me, it would be that Corbin Burnes is able to return after 15 days, which I am doubtful that that's going to be the case. But in those 15 days, that somehow Ryan Nelson earns to stay in the starting rotation over Erod after his return. Corbin Burnes comes back. Erod can be maybe that arm in the pen, and the Diamondbacks can move forward with Nelson still part of the starting rotation. It really felt like, with what he's done in his starts this year, he's kind of earned that. So unless Erod comes back and can get back to the pitcher that he once was with other teams and not as a member of the Diamondbacks, then, again, I think Ryan Nelson might have a shot to earn some more time. This is all based on what happens with Corbin Burnes and what that second opinion says about him. So we will have an update for you on that. Of course, we will also have post-game shows for you for the rest of the series with the Atlanta Braves. So make sure, join us tomorrow. Thursday's game is at 9:00 in the morning. So we'll be live around, hopefully, I'm not even going to say what time. We're going to be live 15 minutes after the final out.
Eggs, baby.
I'm not going to say what time we're going to be live because I'm going to curse us, and it'll be the longest game of the season. But make sure to join us for those games. Oh, yeah.
I'm showing up with
cereal?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe? I'll bring the milk.
I am over the age of 12, so can't say I'm a big cereal guy at this point in my life. But
I hate you. There are cereals for adults, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that. I mean, what is Crispix? What is Crispix if Crispix is not a cereal for adult? Honey Bunches of Oats is not meant for children, and neither is Raisin Bran. But, of course, this is the kind of insight you only get on this show. My Nips Hurts is back. Let's go. My favorite Washington Nationals fan is here. He said, just don't be afraid of the Washington Nationals who brought y'all the series big ol' L. I appreciate your commitment to the bit. So welcome back. Glad to have you here.
This is
Glad
that guy who owns you, Derek, that you were telling me about?
Yeah, he owns me. No, this is the guy that loves my Magneto shirt that I was telling you about.
Well,
he turned it around.
He does love your Magneto shirt, yeah. but also you were telling me how you couldn't sleep at night because you were thinking about my nips hurt.
Oh, we're doing that. We're doing that now, Damon. Is that what we're doing? This is your second day back. I expect better from you. But anyway, we will be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, maybe don't follow Damon. I don't know. Follow me. Where are we at, Damon? Is that 56? I can't read from here. I have bad eyesight. But
you are correct, sir.
Oh, you know what? I would be remiss to say we were just talking about the Diamondbacks, first years in existence. And of course, I just have to say that we are deeply saddened about finding out about Jason Conte's death. Jason Conte was one of the first Diamondbacks drafted ever in their first MLB draft class out of Pittsburgh back in 1996. He played for the Diamondbacks back in 2000 and 2001. And unfortunately, he suddenly passed away at the age of 50 years old. So it's another reminder, of course, that this life is not promised, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure to try to just keep that in perspective every once in a while. I don't know why having a child brought that so much in perspective to me. Maybe it's just because life moves so fast now that I have a small person in my house to compare time to. But again, our hearts go out because it's not great to be losing members of our Diamondbacks family at the age of 50. So, but I will say again, I appreciate all of you guys. I thank you for your time. Told you this before, but your time is your most valuable commodity. And I'm talking even to you, my nips hurt. So appreciate you guys for sharing your time.
Especially with to Damon you, my nips hurt.
With Damon and I. Of course, like I said, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at @cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog. And of course, we are all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But as always, all roads lead to @PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Again, join us tomorrow and Thursday for post-game shows. And then on Friday, we'll be back with another 12 p.m. show, which is what time Damon and I are now doing the show at during the week. And I don't hate that.
I was going to ask how you feel about the lunchtime hour.
See, I like it. I think people, a lot of people have a break then. You might want to watch the show live, be able to hop in. I hope it's a little bit more convenient for people. But more than anything, I just love the idea of people eating food while watching the show. Like that's
but then they'll be talking about how good it is, and me and you will be sitting here thinking about how we wish we were eating good food.
We're very bad at taking care of ourselves. I don't know if I've ever really addressed that enough on this show, but we are bad at taking care of ourselves. So we probably won't be eating before doing that show, and we'll be very hungry. So don't brag about how good your food is. Just eat it in silence and tell us how much you love the Diamondbacks. BCSC, 2 super chats before we get out of here. Says, I will fix Corbin Burns' arm. Message it. I got it. I don't want to know what that means.
But
massage it. I got it. And he said, Noah is my hope and we're in love. Forever Noah. Well,
that's
forever
beautiful.
Noah, indeed. That's for sure. But again, we appreciate your super chats, BCSC. Thank you guys all for your time. Again, appreciate you stopping by. We will see you tomorrow, and come back, have some fun. Maybe we'll see the Diamondbacks take a series win tomorrow. So until then, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Make sure to behave yourselves, Candace. And of course, remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you get to watch Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll both hit 2 home runs each in the same mother effing game.
We all silly like the mayor.